Oh God, I'm sorry for PNP. Boy, I'm a father party and me attack you truth. PNP stuck in one part. May I tell you the truth? They stuck. All the thing they know if you do a march, protest, and be disruptive. Then come like some look bad pitney. You know when you go to school and you have that look one time in pitney there, as a PNP stay now. When people look upon them, they just have one bad aura about them. You see me? Jamaican people tired of one this thing. This not going to help you. PNP. Uno want to segregate them. Uno want to look at civil society group them when you develop. Marvin look at fire. Can't help you. Uno want to create an uproar in Jamaica so bad. Uno try if you do it for an election, it don't work. Uno still a try. That played out now, man. That all and still it can't work. Uno have to go back to the giant board. Remember, a whole heap of you turn millionaire in Andrew Holness time. Enough. Have money down there, drive some big vehicle and do some real thing. Uno need to do better. Make people see now uno as PNP and believe in uno. Uno get up and march with be all people. As long look at all woman way. You see me then time pass. No disrespect. But you can't lead the narrative again. It not work. That not work. Me say, it a go take wings to get out Andrew Holness because you see, like how this Naira bill pass now, anything at all where government lock their eye pan and say, yo, what that them do. Remember, they can't use and look surrogates them where deal with procurement and anything, never slow down projects again. It can't work. Because remember, and that's why government are doing them are doing, because you know amount of money grant for do things and whole heap of PNP do it because you don't want the government to look good, you don't want the government to look bad and play politics. It not gonna work, man. All of them they look black kids here come out. So you know a mark goal you have to pack up in the bags and go. That me I tell you. You know want to look see everything you go out, go protest and come on camera and make pretty speech. It can't help you. It can't help you. I'm telling you the truth. Can't help you. Sorry for you. Oh God.
Former Speaker of this House, and I had discussions with my senior minister, who is also a former Speaker of this House. And I have heard all the comments, and I have seen everything. And I really think we have reached a time in this parliament where we must be absolutely honest with ourselves. And there are members on that side of the House that I have a lot of regard for. They oppose certain things and they do it in a manner that is how the parliaments of this country have always operated. And one of the overriding things that I know as a speaker, please, one of the overriding principles is that the speaker's ruling must always be respected. Always. No speaker is perfect. You might not always get it right, but the speaker's ruling is always to be respected. And in all the years that I've been here, when I sat as the speaker, I had a lot of disagreements with me. But never has this parliament on either side ever gone into what I have seen. And I make bold to say that this is a new breed of parliamentarians, because never before have we had this type of behavior. I have been the speaker. I have been opposed. We have had differences, but nobody has behaved in the way members of this new parliament has behaved to any speaker. And I'm going to say very frankly, it brings back to my mind the comment that was made originally, before the Speaker was chosen. A member of the People's National Party had put out a notice. They did not want the present Speaker or myself to be the Speaker. I am not the Speaker, but the Speaker is the Speaker that has been chosen. She is the Speaker. She is the Prime Minister's wife. Hold on. And I congratulate your member who spoke this evening. She spoke about behavior and the way we treat our women. I want to say it is not a good look for us to treat a female who is a speaker. And I'm going to go further. I'm going to make very bold, because many people have said things and many people have gone wrong. Many people have gone right. But you know, the older members of Parliament, I look and I see the present leader of opposition business, who was also the leader of opposition business when I was a speaker. And you just watch his profile. Never before have we had the type of behavior. And I'm calling it as I see it. The member, hold on, the member on that side from South St. James, I am saying particularly to her, I have never seen anybody behave to any speaker the way she has done. And hold on, I want to say that the member, I'm not to call names, that spoke just before me. No, I'm not calling your name, but I'm saying to you, although you have had difficulties, and although you have said things, and although I have never heard you behave the way that the member from South St. James as a female has brought into this Parliament. I'm calling her out because she's young, she's new, she's female, and we have a female speaker. And if you do anything with the revision, it doesn't matter what you do about the standing orders. The standing orders, if you revise it 1,000,000 times over, the Speaker's ruling must always be respected. And that is why the member who spoke before me came into this Parliament and made an apology for certain incidents. You have never done it, and your behavior has brought a new high to this thing. I am speaking on my feet, and I'm saying to you now that maybe many people will not say it openly. I stand this afternoon because I feel strongly about it. And I feel that the Speaker, in her position as the Prime Minister's wife and as a female, yes, I say it as it is because that's part of the objection. But let me tell you something. Never before has anybody been as disrespectful. And I could go on and on. And nobody, no other member that is old has behaved the way you have behaved. I say to you, no other member of the opposition, and you should not speak to me across the aisle. I'm addressing the Parliament. And I am saying to you, I am not inciting anybody. I don't care if you don't like it, because I don't like the attack. I do not like the attack. It is obvious. Member, I do not like and I do not think it is right. And I say it with absolutely no malice. I say it this afternoon because I heard your own member speak about gender. And let me tell you, there are so many females that have joined this Parliament that are excellent, oppose, and do not behave that way. It is a new trend. For God's sake, let us stop it. And while we review the standing orders, just let us remember that if you review it 1,000,000 times over, the Speaker's views and ruling must always be respected.
And I'm seeing a video circulating with a protesting that is going on. I think it's in Kingston. It looks like Crossroad. But what is puzzling me is the different cards that I'm seeing, the placards. I'm seeing give it back Jamaica, we not ease up, and all kind of other rubbish. And my concern is when the crime rate is at its lowest it has ever been, that's when we're protesting? I not understand. Well, now, the one chuck a pass, because I'm on the road. The crime rate is at an all-time low. And we're protesting. Make it chuck them pass. Yeah. So, when crime was through the roof, thousands of people dying every year, nobody protested. But police brutality and people are cuss and are gone and take back Jamaica. And what I want people to understand is this: you cannot remove a sitting government by protesting. Whether PMP in a power or a JLP in a power, making noise to stand up on the roadside in a sonat with a bunch of PMP supporters is not going to change the government. And I'm not saying this to well-thinking Jamaicans, because well-thinking Jamaicans are not standing out there right now. Well-thinking Jamaicans know better than this rubbish. I'm saying this for the people that actually believe that something can be done. I'm saying this for the people that are brainwashed by PMP nonsense. If you guys realize, I think it was a few weeks ago, Marvin organized a protest and nobody no come. It was about a dozen people out there with him. But it was just Marvin that organized it. This time around, the PMP MPs and opposition leader decided to support him. So of course, they're going to bring their minions. So I know that this is all PMP. It's not nothing at all to do with what the people of Jamaica are thinking. I know better than that. But I want you guys to really sit down and know what it is that you're making noise for. Know what it is you're making noise for. I understand that police brutality is nothing that is nice. It is not a joke. It needs to stop. I agree with you 100%. But removing the government is not going to solve it. In America, police sit down all in a man's neck and kill them. Do you see the government being removed? Now, this does not make it okay, but it just proves my point. In everything, you have good and you have bad. And yes, action must be taken against police officers that do brutality. I understand that. But I cannot understand how you think that you can stand up and protest and make noise because of crime and violence, when crime and violence is the lowest it has ever been in history. So my word of advice to you people standing up out there in the boiling sun, especially the elderly people and for sun go strike on and drop down and dead in this heat, please go on home. Go home. Come in, no want to stand up out there. Go home. The politicians are using this. PMP politicians are using this as a stunt to gain votes. Election done and them a campaign. Because local government election is coming up and them want to start recruit from now. They know what they're doing. This is nothing to do with the love for the people. Because they know that the sitting government cannot be removed. And they know that making noise is not going to change anything. So no go home. And mind son blind, you know.
And protest by the civil groups who states that they are protesting the TCN deal that is supposed to be happening between Jamaica and the United States. Now, Mark Golding, the opposition leader, stated clearly, and I quote, that he's there to lend support to civil society. The opposition leader, who earlier was asked what would be his stance on the same TCN deal, and listen to his response.
The fact that the US are a close ally of ours and have been very helpful to us in many ways, including after Hurricane Melissa. And if they have a serious problem and they're asking for our assistance, I wouldn't lightly ignore that or reject that.
Now, how much more hypocritical can the PMP be? Also, civil groups. Boy, civil groups. All I see out there is pure PMP. How are these civil groups planning this protest? And none of the independent voters of Jamaica are not out there. How can these civil groups plan the protest and it's pure PMP? Was the government of Jamaica invited to this protest to give their stance or to give response to any this from one end to the next? Is pure PMP. Pure PMP. So this is a PMP protest. And this is something that I've been saying all along. Civil groups, you mean PMP groups? Because these civil groups come out and acting as if they are for Jamaicans. But anytime it comes on to supporting the PMP, these civil groups are always present. I heard on the news from one of them that were at the protest talking about Dr. Weasley, but it seems as if they don't see the news that is out as it relates to the Integrity Commission and their withdrawal. But we'll leave that for another video, because some of the interviews that was done for some of these people that were out there with Mark Golding and the civil groups, it's clear when you think about the PMP and you think about the dunce mentality of the PMP, and those persons who support the PMP don't see that they are not being elevated with their knowledge of things that are happening. I don't see any hardworking Jamaican out there. The only people that I think is out there with a job must be the politicians and these civil groups. It's pure people with bag I see out there who look like them come to see what they can get to carry home. What they come to talk about, it's Mark Golding. Mark Golding, you said you would give the US a voice because based on the relationship between Jamaica and the US, and all of them people out there are people who line up an embassy trying to get a visa to go to the US, or have visas, or have families in the US that they're begging daily and nightly. But they're out there protesting against Jamaica assisting the US. Or they're out there protesting without clearly understanding what this deal is all about. You know, sister, the PMP have too much time on them hands.